Alrighty, welcome to Darkening the Sun Radio, presented by Connector and Dream Nexus Podcast. We have on the show Dixon from Dixon's Violin. Say hello, Dixon.
Hello. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Super happy to have you on, man. So I'm super stoked to see you at Darkening. I've seen you at multiple festivals and different shows and stuff like that. Love your music, love the whole feeling of your performance and the inspiration that you bring from that. And pretty much I'm trying not to get stuck on my notes here. Let it go, let it flow. That's what you're all about, man. It's just like let it flow and let
balance. Balance. I like that. It's funny. I often take a few notes before a performance, and it helps to have a little bit of those and be prepared to throw them away.
Yeah, exactly. Half the time I do notes for shows and I don't even look at them because it's just I'll go like part of the way through it and then it just kind of becomes its own thing a lot of times. And yeah, that's the nature of just doing improv, and that's something that you really gotten into recently in your music career. So, or not so much recently, but more recently in your last. You've been playing for almost 30. How long? 30 years?
How old am I? I started playing violin when I was 10.
10, yeah.
Right. So I played classical music for 20 some years, and I've been improvising for the last 15. And doing this professionally now, full time, for the last almost 7 years. So improv is pretty new to me, and it's a drastic shift. When I was doing classical music, we were talking about notes. Every note is written down for me. And when I played classical music, I knew exactly what was going to happen 2 minutes from now, 2 minutes and 10 seconds from now. I knew exactly. And with improvisation, I have no idea. And it's been a wonderful journey of trust and listening. When I was doing classical music, it was useful for me to learn technique. Right? There's rigor, structure. It's very methodical and kind of a masculine approach, which is useful for some things, and it helped me to know that if I want to play an A, this is how I hold my wrist, and this is where I put my fingers, and this is how I hold the bow. So that was useful. And yet what's been powerful and profound for me now is to get into a flow space and to trust my feelings and to listen to what's going on in here, not just what's going on up here, because that's what I used to do the whole time, is think things through. And it's the more feminine approach, the more like being aware and listening and feeling and tapping into my emotions and my authentic emotions. So the classical music is emotional also, but it tends to be somebody else's emotions. It's what was this person feeling 200 years ago? Right? So for me, that was useful because I was kind of flat emotionally. Like I was really reserved for most of my life. I was very shy, kind of timid, and I'd want to hide. And I'd speak to you if you spoke to me first, maybe, very cautiously. I was kind of going through life a little scared. I was like thinking that if I was bold or if I expressed myself, that somehow I'd get into trouble. And so it's been very healing for me to step into this, like, expressing myself, and then to not only express myself, but to express like in the moments and what am I really feeling. It's been super powerful and healing, and I love it. That's what I'm doing now.
That's beautiful. That's part of what you edify yourself as a musical shaman as well. I think that's more of that aspect has come in. And I really appreciate how you have taken some of what you also kind of call keeping a foot in both worlds, is taking the skills that you learned from that rigid structure you grew up through with the corporate world and with the musical training and things that you had, and combine it with this revived sense of connection to your feeling and to your spirit.
Yes.
That's really beautiful for people to see that that's possible.
Yeah, it's totally possible. Yeah, and I was, for those that don't know, I did have a very serious technology career. I was playing classical music as a hobby, but it was very much a hobby. It was a sideline. My main thing was technology, and I was good at it, and I was successful. I did not leave it because it sucked. I was very blessed that I had a good set of jobs, and I worked with cool people on cool projects. But then I kind of had a spiritual awakening. I started to really feel and notice and find that there's more to the world than just the quote unquote 3D reality and the it's not just atoms and it's not just the walls and this but there's a sense of connection to spirit. You can have connection to divine, and that can be different for every person. But I started to tap into mine, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is beyond what I was ever taught. It is beyond science, and it's real. I feel it strongly. And so what I do now is I blend the two. So as I'm doing my musical journey, I'm definitely tapping into my heart and soul and spirit. Tapping energy, whatever you want to call it. Words are kind of limiting these things, but it's definitely a connection with feeling and energy. And to do this effectively for a living, it's really useful that I know how to run a spreadsheet, and I know how to deal with contracts and communication with people and language, and so it's a balance of these two things that I encourage. For me, I was way out of balance. I was only in one state and out of the other, and now I've been bringing them together, and it's been really powerful for me.
Yeah, that's beautiful too, because like a lot of people are kind of stuck in their boxes. You even talk about that before, even how people try to ask you about like, well, are you a classical musician, or are you this, or are you that, or whatever? Is you don't have to be limited to those things. And also, real quick, do you think you could get just a little bit closer to your microphone, perhaps? Is that possible? Yes. There we go.
Bring the camera closer.
Yeah.
Bigger for everybody.
Yeah, that'll make. Yeah, I noticed that makes the sound a little bit better there. So it's kind of cutting out as you're going back, but
good.
Yeah, I can still hear you. So,
good.
But yeah, no, that's really important for people to know that they can, no matter what box they kind of feel like they're stuck in, because there's like a limitless aspect to our being that can really take on anything at once. To just really put the practice in. That's another thing that you had said before about how you kind of felt you were set apart from other musicians your age or whatever, because you put in that extra effort and you really did spend time trying to master it and get to know yourself as a musician. So it definitely does take that hard work. It's not just that you're always just born with it. It's that you're, it's sort of, I have a friend who says, talent, hard work will outwin talent every time talent refuses to work.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, the violin is, in particular, a really awful instrument. It's horrible. At first it's hard. And at first means for years. And so what happens is most people just stop before they've gotten over the hump. Mm-hmm. But if anybody plays the violin for a few years, you will get good. You can do it.
Right.
And all the time I hear from people that were like, I tried it for 3 months and I wasn't any good. That's what they'll say. I wasn't any good, and so I stopped.
How could you expect to be?
Good, yeah. Like you just keep at it, right? It's a long-term investment in yourself. Mm-hmm. And a lot of things I believe in life are like that, the important things. So your career, your relationships, your spiritual practice, these are things that take years to develop. And I encourage people, like, keep at it, practice. You will master it. I like the idea of the 10,000 hour rule. Mm-hmm. Spend 10,000 hours on anything, you will get really good at it. And that can include bad things, right? So if you spend all your day watching TV, over years, you're just going to be really good at sitting on a couch watching a TV.
That's true.
But if you put in a daily practice into your dream, into your passion, you can achieve it. And anybody can do that.
I love that. That's a lot of, I have different guests on my shows that's kind of they're trying to show them like living their dream, that it is possible to do that, but it does really take that hard work. That's part of the standing in two worlds, is you got to be able to pull the dream into this world, you know, and vice versa, you know, with the structure and the lessons you gain here, you learn how to kind of remix things around and like learn kind of how to channel your own energy and your creative expression, you know?
Yep, absolutely.
Cool. So let's talk a little bit about Darkening. So you will obviously be improvising, but I see you have a few different albums. Is there anything you're going to maybe play more of, or what can people maybe more expect from your performance?
It's usually a blend. Half the time, so I'm really blessed. The way I've structured myself is it gives me freedom. I have, so those that have not heard, so I play violin, but I play an electric violin. It's a 5-string electric violin that I play through a looping system that I've developed. And it allows me to record something and play it back in a loop and add a layer and add another layer and another layer and another layer so that it can sound like a symphony and can sound like 12 of me at the same time, which is really fun. And it gives me freedom to like see what mood I'm in and what's the energy of the space in the moment. Am I feeling, am I feeling pretty? Am I feeling angry? Am I feeling introspective? Like, what is that? And just follow that. And so the show is never the same thing twice. Mm-hmm. And half of the things that you'll hear are improv from start to finish. They're just completely new. And then the other half are sometimes there's themes that come back. So the albums, the CDs, for example, have some songs, things that have turned into songs that I will go, yeah, this is a groove that I really resonate with, and this might come back, and then I'll improvise on top of that. And so it's definitely a blend, but it's certainly not what I used to do, where, oh yeah, here's this song, and I know all the notes ahead of time, and
right.
It's gonna be different.
They're more like a feeling. Yeah, they're more like a feeling, or like a particular. Just it's hard to even encapsulate that into notes. Really, it's
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I literally had to recreate some songs. There was an improvisation that I did that I put on an album, and I noticed later that a lot of people were listening to it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I never played that because I just did it once. And I had to relearn it. I had to go back to the recording and listen to and figure out what the heck what was I doing? Oh, okay, that was the bass line, and okay, that's the harmony. Okay, and I had to literally learn my own song.
Mm-hmm. But that's good though. That's where that masculine energy from the past, or just that rigorous training and gaining the skills, is also what helped you recognize maybe some of the notes more specifically with your pitch, just with everything.
Yes.
So that definitely helps for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So, awesome.
So I'm excited for Darkening of the Sun. I'm going to be doing a few things there actually. So on Sunday evening, I'm going to be doing a concert performance, which will be, who knows what that'll be. We'll see what the energy is at the moment. And then later that evening, I'm going to be doing a bonfire session. So there's a space for workshops, talks, presentations around a bonfire. And I'll be sharing a bit about my path and things that have helped me, in particular with the thing like letting go of external influences in your life in order to reclaim your power and kind of walk your own path. So I'll give a talk about that. And then on Monday, I'll be literally guiding us through a total eclipse of the sun, which I'm just thrilled and honored to do. And so it'll be a combination of music and words, and people will have an opportunity to literally experience a total eclipse there.
That's so wild.
A rare and unique opportunity.
Yeah, to be performing and speaking at that time too. I was kind of wondering who exactly is going to be doing exactly what at those times, because everybody's just going to be like, it's going to be,
Yeah, and
powerful.
I don't take that lightly. What I do, and this is true for my performances too, because what I do is I encourage people to do your thing. Mm-hmm. This is not about me knowing it all and do what I say. No, this, like, I might offer some possibilities and such, but what I really encourage people is to tap into your feelings. I'm going to tap into mine. I'm going to go into musical space in a journey and feel and listen to myself. And that might, set a tone or offer some guidance. But I tell people, like, if you want to meditate during my concert, do it. If you want to hula hoop, do it. If you want to lie down, if you want to do yoga, if you want to dance, if you want to scream, do your thing. And let everybody else do their thing too. So you're going to see people next to you doing something different. Awesome. I honor that, respect that. We hold each other safely in the space to be ourselves.
And that's what's super important too. And a lot of us we do have that dream or that thing that's you don't want to fall into the dying of the light per se, but that a lot of times navigating this 3D world is very difficult to hang on to, and that's where a lot of that you talk so much about balance and maintaining in both worlds and having kind of an equal balance in both, and that's how you achieve that.
Yeah, and I like you're right about the navigating this world can be tough. Like there are dark times, there are tough things. Like the human experience is a tough one. And what I like to do is to encourage people to practice their power. So for me, I've been over time facing fears, like facing dark stuff. What if I'm not good enough? What if people don't like me? Am I like, how can I walk away from a good job to be a starving musician? How can I walk away from a good relationship in the hopes that there's something else out there? Like these fears that happen, and the underlying fear is that I'll fail, and then that'll be awful. Like if that things will go wrong and that'll be awful. Like in the feeling that I can get is this, like, well, I'll cease to exist, right? Or I'll die, or somehow I'll disappear from the universe. But that's this underlying thing. And what I find over time is that doesn't happen. Even if the worst happens, hey, you know what? I did walk away from a good relationship, or I did lose this massive paycheck, and I ended up moving into my van, and I had nothing, or like this. And you know what? I was fine. And then over time, I practiced like facing these fears, and I practiced stepping into my strengths. And I realized that, I do things like challenges, personal challenges. I'm going to get on a stage in front of a bunch of people and make something up, not knowing what's going to happen. That's scary at first. And it was fine, even if I screwed up, even if I played a wrong note, it was fine. I've gone skydiving, right? I jumped out of a perfectly good plane. Right? That's scary. And I was fine. I spend a week in the desert every year. I go in this horrible, awful environment where it's harsh conditions. And I'm fine. So I encourage people, and as you say, like, life is tough. But as you practice your power, as you practice facing fears, you realize that you are powerful and you're going to be fine even if things go wrong, even if you screw up. And over time, that helps. It helps you, like, when the next challenge comes up. Now, the next thing comes up and you can say to yourself, well, you know what? I did this before, this hard thing before, and I was fine. Now I can do this next thing with some confidence, and I can go into like standing tall. And it gets easier over time.
Mm-hmm. That's, it's interesting that you explain it all that way, because that's the sense I get out of listening to your music, because sometimes it dips into kind of dark sounding stuff, and it's just like, but there's always this little silver lining in the background, and then there's this great time, and then there's this whole thing that sounds like it's a massive amount of learning, and then back into it. So there's always this theme off in the woofs, and that's something that never ends. It's just kind of how you deal with it and what you make out of it. And you can take something that is a dark time like that, but because you went through that and you have that emotion and you're able to translate that into music right then, and people can feel that and be like, oh, I've been through that too, so I'm not alone in that, because I can feel you. And this is how you're talking about, like, the primordial emotions that kind of connect all of us like that is something that is unspoken. And that's what's so beautiful about music, is that can actually come through. It's almost like telepathy. I don't know, you know, it's a super advanced form of telepathy through music, because everybody can feel it and nobody can really deny it, especially if they tap into whatever their flow is too. They can become more sensitive to it because they're not thinking, oh, my job, my kids, my personal whatever. It's you're in the moment, and there's something really profound about that, about being in the moment, being present. When you are, you find a lot of magic, even if it may seem dark or whatever. There's something beautiful there. So
I used to categorize emotions. I used to think there were good emotions and bad emotions, and that the good emotions were joy and bliss and happy and rainbows and unicorns, and the bad emotions were anger and sorrow and grief, and and I thought, you're not supposed to feel those bad emotions. They're bad. You don't just smile, grin and bear it, and smile and pretend those things don't exist. And what I believe now strongly is that all emotions are valid and they're useful, and that you should honor them and express them. Find a way to feel them and let them move through you safely. Like find a way, like even like anger, like even rage, like find a way to safely move that. Like as long as you're not hurting anybody else or yourself, then find a way to move that. For me, back in the classical world, I loved angry concertos. I loved angry classical music, just like just really, I wanted as many notes on the page, just fill the page with ink, and I was happy. And there's the funny thing, I was happy after I processed it, after I moved through it. And so I encourage people to trust the darkness, trust those dark emotions. Do what you need to do to find a way to process those safely, right? So if it's sadness, find a place that you can cry, or find a friend that you can cry on their shoulder. If it's anger, find a pillow and beat it up, or find a dance floor where you can rage. Again, as long as you're not hurting anybody, including yourself. And then go through that, and it feels so good. When I get through that, I'm like, it's so good now that I've honored my feelings. And so what a great analogy for this darkening of the sun.
I was just thinking that in my head for when we're
going through utter darkness. Yeah. It's going to be okay, but we're not ignoring it. We're going to go through it. We're going to go right into it.
And that's even what part of the Native American tradition about it. They believed that it was like a frog that was swallowing the moon, basically. And so they were, they would basically have kind of like a festival and play music, bang on pots, pans, shoot guns, do crazy stuff, holler, kind of act crazy, dance ecstatically. But that's something that's interesting just about the whole just our whole thing. It kind of reminds me of the poem Howl. It's kind of like that's the whole range of emotion being expressed kind of at once to just bring back the light. You know what I mean? When you're in this utter case, it's like, whatever. It's just, and then we're back. So there's this cyclic nature to like appreciating those superpower primordial forces that even in some senses those cycles represent of our actual cosmos, which really is part of what we are too. So it's it's all connected. It's so beautiful.
For me, I like that, and it reminds me these things reconnect me with me. They remind me that I'm human again. Where there was decades when I was in this technology world where I was doing great. Like I am succeeding, and my parents are very proud of me and don't have to worry about me. And I'm so proud of my son. He's doing this technology thing and it's great. But the thing is I remember there were days and weeks that would go by where I went from my house into my car into an office all day, and then back into a car and back into my house, and I was never outside. And I might, if I was lucky, catch a glimpse of the sun once or twice. Or if I was really lucky, I might see out distant in a window that there was a sunset happening, right? But I would go through these weeks or months in my headspace like in this intellectual space. What I love now is I'm at these events where I'm reconnecting with my human, like with my spirit. Frankly, like I'm reconnecting with me. And emotions are a way to do that. Emotions are a way to do that. That's one. Huge, powerful, amazing. Nature is another. Being outside, right? Get my feet in the dirt, get my feet in the grass, breathe in some air, touch a tree, right? Feel a breeze. That is a powerful, powerful connection. By the way, these are all at Darkening the Sun. So we got our emotions there, we got our nature there, and bonus, if you can connect to something that's bigger than us, right? Connect to something celestial. Connect, like gaze at the stars. Experience a total eclipse. Like have this wonder of there's this thing that's beyond us too. And what's neat about that is it reminds me that everyone else is experiencing the same thing. Everyone on the planet, can see, like even if they're not in the path of the total eclipse, they know what's going on, right? And so the next time they look at the sun or look at the stars, they're like, wow, other people on this planet are also in this wild space. And so it connects us. And again, that reminds me of who I am as a soul being. I am emotional, right? I am connected to nature, and I'm connected to everyone else on the planet.
That's powerful. That's powerful. That's so beautiful. And that's just why I'm like beyond excited to go to this event. There's just so much energy from the people that are going to be there, the whole time of it. This is our whole little family that we've got here in St. Louis, and from a bunch of people coming from all over the place. Yeah. And it's just going to be such a unique experience. It's hard to even put it to words because it's probably gonna completely blow all of our minds more than we can imagine.
So, my favorite things are things you can't put into words.
Yes. Yeah.
I love that. Yep. Well, it's hard to describe. This thing happened to me at a festival, and it's the good stuff right there.
Yep.
That's the good stuff. Yeah. And it's fun. Like I'm like an expatriate or something. Like I come from the mainstream world. I come from like very much intellectual, corporate. I had the house with the white picket fence and was married forever, and like I was in Normalville. And I'm coming from that side into the festival scene, which has changed my life. I love it. And there's I feel like an ambassador, right? And again, just I do consider myself a shaman, and it's like one foot in each world, and spirit world and 3D earth world, but also corporate and festival, masculine and feminine, like finding balance between these things. And I encourage people, like, where are you on that balance? Because the other extreme is out of balance too, I think. Mm-hmm. If I know a lot of beautiful artists that are amazing at what they do and are struggling at being effective at it in the world. And I'm like, hey, well, maybe bring in a little bit of the mythology and the rigor and the practice and the logic to balance. If you're just in the heart space and the soul space, and that's cool. But I encourage people to do the work. And then you can change the world.
I think that's awesome too, because it makes it, because you can stand in both worlds like that, it makes you very relatable too, because the people that are in the corporate world, that are in kind of this matrix thing going on, they can totally relate with you. And like that's something that kind of struck me. I saw in your Fox News interview in like 2011, where like you're able to explain yourself very simply but very powerfully, and this is kind of what this is, and here you're going to experience it. I came from the same kind of world as you, and then you have like this mind-blowing improv session that anybody, I don't know, like if they're not, especially if they're not used to seeing improvisation artists, would just be like, how did this guy, like,
it's so fun. I love it. I'm very blessed. I am very blessed. I play wide variety of situations. So on the one extreme, I got interviewed by Fox News. What? Like,
right,
awesome.
exactly.
And then the next thing, I'm playing at a festival with electronic music. Right, and a bunch of beautiful earth worshipping, tree hugging, friends of mine. That and then I'm playing. What was it? I got hired for a mainstream event where the theme is something like celebrating America. Celebrating America. And I know everybody's going to be wearing red, white, and blue, and there's going to be fireworks and such, and you know what, more power to them, that's cool. And then the next day I'll be playing at a yoga studio, or who knows what, like it's the variety, it's really a blessing. I truly enjoy it. I find it like we're all the same in that, we're all different, but we're all underneath, like we have common feelings, common challenges, like we all want to do good in the world. We all want to find love. We all want to make a difference. Like even if we differ in like our political views or like the clothes that we wear, like we are brothers and sisters on this planet. I meet people with curiosity, right? And I'm like, you know what? Everyone is my teacher. I can learn something from everyone. It's like, oh, I'm curious. Okay, you're different than me. Cool. Like, let's find out more.
Yeah.
It's really a joy.
Yeah, it definitely is. That's another thing that's going to be cool about Darkening is the opportunity for people to learn and like really learn about the different connections we used to have as a species to nature, and that culture will be very prevalent there. And it's kind of like a journey back in time a little bit, and just to be able to also feel some of their presence too. That's another thing that we were kind of talking is just that sense of flow or feeling. That's in a way that is our form of primordial communication. It's just through feeling and just kind of ways, and that can come out through words, come out through music, come out through artwork. But ultimately, it's kind of forming an overall narrative that we're all kind of sitting in for a certain allotment of time. And it's an opportunity to change the narrative, to introduce people to some of these things. If they feel it, they walk away from the festival with that feeling and give it to their friends, their family that's outside of that festival. And it can really actually impact communities. And that's something I've noticed from, some of these festivals coming through. Things are changing. I don't know if you notice, but I feel like there's just an overall kind of a different energy that's coming out right now than before, of just more openness and a sense of wanting to improve things instead of ignore things overall.
Yes. Yes, and I love that there's now these festivals that are bringing us together. Mm-hmm. So we're exchanging ideas, and we're feeling like we're part of a team.
And that's huge. That's huge because part of like what you were saying before about going pretty much from the office to your car to home to back and forth and whatever is you're kind of separated from people depending on what their times are, like when they wanted to plan to go out of an evening or of or whatever. But that sense of that tribal communication feeling, connection that you get when you're at a festival, because you're on festival time pretty much. Everybody does what they really feel and they please. And when people are able to be around each other in a group setting for like that for long enough, you end up kind of creating kind of different channels of where people will go and what they'll go to kind of experience. And it also is totally left up to chance too of what they actually need to experience. And it's not so controlled. It's not such much of a controlled environment. It's a creative environment. Yeah. It's a co-creative environment.
Yeah. The phrase that's going through my head now as you say that is tribal technology.
Yeah.
I heard this phrase, tribal technology.
Tribal technology.
So I'm a technologist. Like I'm such a geek. I'm a geek extreme for sure. My specialty in technology was multi-dimensional data visualization. I have a patent in virtual reality, a master's degree in computer science. Like I'm a geek. Even though I've walked away from that, I'm still a geek. It's very fun. I find at these festivals we are surrounded by new technology, right? So the music I share is through a looping system that I've developed that is, I think it's one of the most sophisticated pedal boards on the planet. It's very techy. And we're balancing this with tribal technology. So I love learning old things that are powerful, right? So we were talking about drumming earlier. Super powerful. To listen to it, right? Get your dance on around a drum circle or a bonfire. Super powerful to do it. To perform it, super powerful. Things like the workshops, right, or talking around a fire. That, ancient cave people were doing this, right? A talking stick is a practice that I practice often now. I get to be in circles where it's sharing a story, speaking from a place of I. This is old stuff that intellectually you might go, what's the big deal? Like you hold a stick, you're like, what are they doing? Like they're moving like idiots around a fire, like what? Or you're banging on a drum. What's the big? No.
It is a big
powerful is when I experience it firsthand. Like because if you see it, it looks, what's the phrase? Those it's something I'm going to mispronounce this, but it's something like those who do not hear the music think the dancers are crazy. There's a phrase,
yeah,
right? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But when you do it, powerful, even life-changing.
Definitely.
And this festival has these experiences there. So it has the access to this the cave people in us, these powerful access to self and access to soul and spirit, and to remind us who we are, to get us out of the normal world that we're surrounded by often outside of the festival environment. And now here, we're in a safe space to connect back with ourselves.
Yeah, that was very well said. I appreciate that. Yeah, and that's it's definitely a long journey to be able to kind of come back to yourself. Sometimes you go through a lot of different stuff that makes you feel like, sometimes it's not so much yourself. It's always yourself. It is always yourself. It's like sometimes it's almost like some of this was prearranged in some way for you to be here and go through some stuff.
Right.
It'd like be this exact perfect cut little character, here, like you chose this or something.
Yep.
But I don't know. It's just, it's.
I love the possibilities.
Yeah.
And I like how you were saying about, you can wander around. There's less, when I went to the office, my day was laid out. At this time of day, I would be in that room. Mm-hmm. This time of day, I will be at that room. And whereas a festival, Darkening the Sun has got so many things going on that there's room to meander. Mm-hmm. Wander and explore, and I love that when I just give myself the freedom to not know where I'm going and feel it, listen. Mm-hmm. You might get pulled to that stage because of that music. You might get pulled to this group of people because they look like people you want to chit chat with. You might notice that you're hungry and you want to get some food, or like meander, and that's practice for listening to your needs. And they could be bodily needs like food or sleep. They could be emotional needs like I need to dance or I need to have connection with people. And so you're honoring yourself. And the more you do that over time, your body and your soul start to react and okay, I'm going to open up more. Okay, you're listening to me more. Awesome. I'm going to reveal myself more. And there's enough things going on here that you can take it to whatever level you want. So if you want to go into a really deep experience, those are there. If you just need to chill for a while, you can do that too. And it's great. It's why there's so much transformation that happens at these events. There's so many possibilities, and You are encouraged to try them. You're not forced, of course, to do anything. And you're safe. You're in a safe environment where if you want to dance like an idiot, which is my favorite, do it. If you want to scream, if you want to hug a tree, if you want to roll around in the dirt, like, do it. You're honored. You're safe. We honor everybody that's here and your version of expressing yourself.
And that's one thing I love is it makes us kind of go back to that childlike state that we were at before. That's kind of like that natural state. And it's so cool. Like, especially this festival is very family friendly, kid friendly. And like, that's my favorite thing is a lot of times is experiences to see like kids when they're inspired by something new or something they would never get generally out in that mainstream,
right.
In that mainstream setting or, school or a lot of things, but they're like just totally geeking out over something that is just not really able to experience anywhere else.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. The reconnecting with the inner child in me has been so much fun. So much fun. The ability to play like a child. We can learn so much from kids. Kids are so much better than us generally. A lot of things.
Yep.
And expression and play are two big ones. Like, they don't hold back. They don't hold back in their expression, and they don't hold back when they want to play. They're going to play. And how nice that we get to sort of be in an environment that allows kids of all sizes, right? So the little bitty ones and those of us that are older, and that it's funny because what it reminds me of is when I see other people doing something that it kind of gives me permission to do that. It's like, I don't know if I want to dance. There's nobody on the dance floor yet, but then somebody gets on the dance floor. Oh, okay. Well, now that there's somebody there, I'll go and dance. Like that kind of thing. I shouldn't need that. I should be able to be the first. But when I see other people expressing themselves, it gives me permission to do that.
Yeah.
It helps me. And so having kids in an environment is great. It's awesome for that.
Yeah.
And I try to do that too. Like it's certainly something I try to do when I'm on stage doing my thing. It's like, I'm putting it out there. I'm going to put myself in a vulnerable, risky situation of creating something I've never heard before and throw my heart into it. And I hope that will give a little permission to other people to say, yeah, they can do that too. That's my hope.
I love that you say that being vulnerable is a huge thing in that process. It's a part of like being vulnerable to failure or to judgment or those different things. But by doing that, you also kind of protect yourself in a way too. Like, hey, I'm here to just like completely just be me or just let this expression come through. And in a way, their judgments are actually, that's their stuff. It's not yours. It's You're literally doing everything you can to be you. And you have put the work into it to be able to also express that in a way that amplifies it, and makes them also kind of reverse it back on themselves also to like, well, how could I get that feeling that I can feel him expressing? I know that there's something in me that when I do it, it kind of makes me feel that way because it's like this core of my spirit or soul. And that's what a lot of people they're really looking for that. That's like a mining for gems in life, that those are those rare moments that a lot of times can inspire you to like go and live your dream or to actually be inspired with a new one, So
yes, it's contagious. I love it.
Yeah,
We're inspiring others. Yeah, it's fun for me too. Like I'm blessed to be. This Darkening of the Sun is going to have some amazing performers there. I get inspired by others, and the workshops. I love workshops. I love giving them, but I love taking them. I love participating. I learn so much from the others there. So I'm excited. Yeah,
me too.
I feel like the luckiest guy in the world.
Yeah, me too. I'm super stoked for this opportunity. I'll be doing some more interviews and some different stuff throughout the festival, and it's this isn't kind of like a really unique experience for me to kind of jump into that. It's just something that it just came to me to do it, and I think it's really important that when you're presented with certain opportunities that can take you in a new direction, that you better do it. Kind of like that's what you're all about too. So.
I like that. Yep. Yeah. Good. You stepped up to the challenge.
Yeah, exactly. That's a lot of times the first part of it, showing up. And like I said, I was like,
oh my gosh,
checking my notes. When you're talking about the 10,000 hours thing, it's like you could do that, but you don't need to. And if you put your mind to it, you can do anything. And that's so awesome and so beautiful, because a lot of times just putting yourself in the position, you wouldn't believe how unbelievably supported you are in that endeavor. That's part of also those, just this primordial part of who and what we are. Is it sometimes it seems like there is a lot that is something bigger than you that is here for your ultimate good, and when you tap into that of who you truly are, a lot of that just it's like a muse that just flows through you when you listen.
Yeah. I like the idea that the universe is conspiring to shower you with blessings.
Yep.
And trust in yourself. Showing up is 99% of it. Just give it a shot, and it's like the old saying, a leap in the net will appear. Don't wait for the net. Take the leap. And you can do that a little at a time. I'm reminding myself, am I going to leap onto the dance floor? Even if nobody else is there, am I going to be first to dance? Or am I going to strike up a conversation with a stranger? Like that's, trust. It's going to be okay. Mm-hmm. Those little things, and over time they add up.
Yeah, and it's like practice. It's like the same thing with you and your violin. It's like even just engaging with life in a certain way to not be afraid of it. It's like a reflection in a way. Because a lot of times, like with animals, especially with animals, they're very sensitive to fear. So if you're afraid, they're like, "Why is he afraid? That freaks me out," And I feel like that's kind of just a natural reaction with the world itself and just your life, And yeah, just changing that on the inside. It's like it's like your attitude, pretty much. You watch how your attitude affects everything, because it's definitely a thing, So
definitely a thing.
Yeah,
definitely a thing. Yeah, for sure. Positive attitude. I love it. And even with language, I heard of a study where football coaches were telling their players not to fumble. Don't fumble. And when they did that, fumbles went up. Whereas when the coaches told their players, protect the ball, then fumbles went down. Mm-hmm. So it was an attitude. I believe the universe doesn't understand negatives. And so when you're thinking about your life and what you want in your life, often what people do is they think about what they don't want.
Yep.
I don't want to get hurt. I don't want this job. I don't want this thing, or I don't want this person, or I don't want this. Yeah. What do you want? What do you want to bring into your life? Put the focus on the positive. And for me, it's helped a lot.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like a lot of what fear does so much is it gets you to kind of think in that dualistic side that is saying, oh, I can't do this or whatever, or focusing on that negative manifestation, but you're literally only bringing about more of it. It's almost like the universe only hears I will, or I want more of what I'm talking about, basically. Yeah. So
whatever you put your energy into grows.
Right. Yeah.
Wherever you put your energy. If you're in a fear space and all your energy is about that fear, that's going to grow. If you're, this ties into, if you spend all your time watching the news, thinking about the bad stuff going on in the world, and in your mind, that's going to grow bigger and bigger. Whereas if you put your focus on the good in the world and your work in the world and your path in the world and your strengths, those are going to grow. Felt it personally.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm loving all this stuff, but we do need to wrap it up here pretty soon. Is there anything that you would like to plug or talk about here as we're getting near the end of the show?
Well, I'm very excited to be part of the Darkening the Sun. I can't wait. It's a very special event. Unique opportunity. Yeah. So many amazing things going on. full expression of yourself is possible there. Opportunity to reconnect with you.
Yeah, that's and with yourself and I'd say also it's like just our sense of our tribe and our community, which goes back to self at the same time, and recognizing that we're all connected like that, and how easy it is to inspire one another when we're sharing in that connection and kind of our old way, you know.
Yeah, we are one family for sure.
Yeah, and I hear that, you know, those undulations in your music, every time I listen to it, there's a sense of you just kind of close your eyes and it's just like, we're back, you know. So I'm super excited to see you play, and you know, looking forward to how you progress with your career as well. I'll always be an avid fan of your work, and super inspired by your message. It's inspired me in different places in my life too, in our personal conversations at shows, and whenever you're in St. Louis, I'm always down to come see you. So
thank you so much.
Yeah, you're most welcome, brother. So is there anything else you'd like to say before we end it?
I think we're good. I'm honored. Thank you so much for this opportunity to share.
Yeah, I'm happy you got a chance to kind of edify yourself in preparation for this event, and people can check out some of your music and get even more stoked about it. So
yes, please.
Alrighty. All right, so let's wrap it up. Thanks again for coming on, and we'll see you at the show. Maybe we could get an interview together at the show too, or something like that.
Sounds great.
All right.
Thanks for what you do.
Thank you very much. You as well.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.